This is Isa. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Jesus. And today I have a very special guest. Her name is Francia, and we know each other from high school. So, hi, Francia. How are you?
Hi, I'm excellent. I'm really excited to be here right now talking with you. And yeah, basically.
Francia is a new believer, and I really liked her testimony, and I wanted to invite her. So, who are you, and what are you working? What do you do?
Well, actually, my name is Francia Sierra, now de Ochoa because I'm married. But yeah, I'm a student of communications and advertisement, and I am an English teacher. I've been working with kids, adults since I was 18, so I've been into that industry a lot. I feel I'm a really passionate person who loves to help others. And yeah, I have my own battles, but I think God has really changed my life.
And I can see that, and that's why I want to talk to you today. So, how did you meet Jesus? And how and when did you realize that Jesus was not religion, but a relationship?
Well, actually, I met Jesus. Sorry, I was seeing something in my Bible. Actually, I met Jesus when I was like 21 years old, but I was really conflicted. I was like, no, I don't want to believe if God exists. Why does this happen to me? Why does He allow some things? And I was really mad and angry at God, but I don't know, he just attracted me with his grace and his mercy. And I have this boyfriend, I was gonna say my husband. I have my husband, which in that time he was my boyfriend. And I met his fathers and his mom and his dad, and they start preaching to me and telling me God is the answer to my anxiety, to my depression, because I was really depressed. Wow, I have so much things to say, but I'm gonna tell you later. And well, they spoke to me about Jesus. Nobody had ever spoke to me about Jesus. I never knew what he did for me in that cross, and that was amazing for me. And I started like trying to keep on and that.
But yeah, you know what? It's really interesting that you said that you were so angry because I was so angry at him too. And I think when you decide to take that like step of faith in your life, especially when you're like, okay, I'm gonna follow Jesus, all your life gets flipped upside down. And I think when you're new and you really don't understand why everything is not going how you thought it would be, it's because God is changing and moving everything that was not good and making it good. So like it's very normal and okay to be angry. I mean, I'm not saying like be angry at God, guys. I do not encourage that. But what I'm saying is like it's a very valid thing, and I lived through that too, so I totally understand where you're coming from. And my next question to you is, what, besides your husband's family talking to you about Jesus, what made you decide to change specifically? Like, what was the moment when you were like, okay, I think I need to change something in my life?
Okay, so people actually think like we are brainwashed or something like that. Think thing that I was not, because I was really a disobedient person. I never follow rules. So God is all about being obedient. So why would I be obedient to God? But something in my life, I was like, I was depressed. I used to self harm. I used to be addict to alcohol, parties every day, and I was so empty. My heart was so empty. I needed something else that fulfilled me completely, and I found God as an answer. God has talked to me. God has been there in my most difficult times, and His grace is amazing because he chose me even though I was not a good person. Not at all. I was, maybe I didn't have bad intentions, but I didn't do what's right. I was always I don't know, making bad decisions.
Yeah. I totally love how you talk a lot about his mercy. And I think people don't really understand that. Like, guys, we every day, if you don't follow Jesus, and I'm not saying this to make anyone feel bad, but like this is just like we are in a different chapter. Like looking back to where we both were when we didn't believe and we didn't give our life to Christ. Every day he chooses us and we would say no. How bad would he feel? Like, just imagine, put yourself in his shoes. So, just the mercy that he gives us, and he continues to wait for people who don't follow him yet, gives them the opportunity and just is patient. Like, I don't have that patience to be like my whole life waiting for someone to love me back. I do not. I'm not there yet. I mean, I'm learning, but I'm not there yet. So my
Yeah.
next question for you is, once changing your life, what are some really good positive changes you can see in your life and what has been very fruitful? And before you answer, I really do want to talk a little bit about Francia from my perspective. One of the things that really caught my eye is you can visibly see the life before and after Christ in her and in how she dresses and what she posts, how she looks, how she lives, like everything. Like I remember, and this is gonna be like a little bit too specific, but I remember seeing your feed and it was all like model pictures and like stuff like that.
Bikini.
Uh-huh. And then now, like one day I just saw it and I'm like, oh, and then I see Bible verses everywhere and like your modest way of dressing too. I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl really did like 180. But I love it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, all the glory to Christ. I have to say some positive changes in my life where I wasn't thinking about, um, I don't know if this can be in YouTube, but like myself, like I wasn't thinking about that anymore. Like, like these dead thoughts that I always had in me. I
Hmm.
don't have them anymore. I think I'm healthy in that.
Praise
Uh,
Jesus.
yeah, like I have a better relationship with my mother, with my sister, with my brother, with everybody around me. Like everything changed. Yeah, I'm battling with my own flesh, but I know I'm gonna be free, completely free because Jesus Christ died in that cross for me. And I feel I was a person who was really disobedient. I really disobedient. And one thing Christianity taught me was that I needed to obey. I needed to obey. I needed to humiliate myself. And I was really prideful. And I needed to humiliate myself to really get close to Christ. He only asks us to humiliate, to ask Him for forgiveness, and He will erase all your past. Because I'm not, I'm not okay with my past. I mean, I had a really hard condemnation in my heart, and He just told me like, Francia, I forgive you. And that was the day I was like really happy because everybody always pointed out my flaws and everybody always talked things about me. But I know now that only God's opinion mattered to me, and I only want to be good for Him, not for the world.
Period, girl. You speak
Yeah,
that. I'm
period.
gonna make a t-shirt with that. Your creation. But yeah, I love that. And I really do also like the point that you said about like the rules. I think a lot of people think that following Jesus, I mean it is following rules, but it's not because there's condemnation, that comes with religion that I really don't like, because God is not religion, he is relationship. And when, like, let's say we're both Latinas, by the way, so cuando ibas a la iglesia and they're like, oh, te vas a ir al infierno, or like you're gonna go to hell,
Yeah,
basically.
no, I
I
don't like
hate
that
those.
either.
Sorry, I don't like using the word hate, but I don't like that type of people, and that's the reason why a lot of people don't go to Christ, because of those condemning and shameful thoughts, and people, and oh well, if I'm a bad person and I do bad things, well, they're gonna make me feel bad, so I don't want to go near something that's gonna make me feel bad. And it will make you feel bad, but it will make you repent. But there's a different type of approach that you gotta go with it. But
Yeah, of
at the end of the
course.
day,
Of
I think it's the right people who lead you and talk to you about Jesus the right way, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So in your story, it would be your in-laws. So they talked about Jesus the right way, and they showed you the way,
Oh,
the
yeah.
truth, and the life. But like if it was someone else who was like, "Oh, you're gonna go to hell, Francia, for all the things you've been doing," like that would have
I would go running away from that.
Exactly, exactly. And I think we as Christians we also have to be mindful how we share the gospel and what tone and voice we use to others, and invite them and be kind and loving to other people and not shameful. So I think that's a very good point that I did want to talk about. And then what is some small daily habits that we can do every day to grow our relationship with God for the people who are new believers?
For me, the best things you can do is read your Bible, read it, read. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Read
You're
them.
fine.
Read the Bible. That's the door to be closer to God. And you have to pray. You have to pray all days, all days. Maybe when you're washing the dishes, you don't have to maybe I don't know, do like a ritual or something, but you can wash your dishes and be praying. You can do the your homework and be praying. You can do small things that change your relationship with God. um I really like fasting as well, like for God. And yeah, I just wanted to add something about what you said, that we have to learn how to preach the gospel, and that's true, because you can't judge anybody, even if maybe it's a prostitute or a drug addict or something. You have to teach them with love, the same love God sees them. He sees them with love, with mercy, with grace, because they're alive. So if God doesn't judge me, and he never did when he was the only one who could judge me like the most awful way, and he never did, then who am I to
To
judge
judge.
people? Yeah,
Period. That's so good. I'm gonna put that in the preview, Francia. I love that. But
thank you.
yeah, I love that. That is so, so good. And he is so good. Like sometimes I'm like, "Ah, you are so good. Like I love you so much, but I love him so much. It's crazy." And then before we finish this podcast, what is your favorite coffee or drink?
Well, I love the name of the podcast, but I don't drink coffee. My husband,
It's
he
fine.
drinks a lot of coffee, but I would say matcha. I like the
Oh, I
matcha.
love matcha too. I like
It's
matcha.
like my favorite drink. I really love it. I could drink it all day.
Oh my gosh, I love matcha too. But I have like phases with matcha. Like I had a matcha phase last year and then I got tired of it and now I'm drinking tea. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Go follow her. And she is a light, such a good person. Thank you so much. And I'm so grateful that you get to share the love of God and Jesus and your story. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.